When it comes to feeding our babies, we know to read the labels, but there is something missing from them. Something that affects the safety, taste, and nutrition of every pouch that we buy. And that's the way that it's processed. Today's guest, Danielle Silver, is a nutritionist, mom, and the founder of Sophie's Organics. What I learned from her floored me and changed the way that I feed my family forever. Sophie's Organics is the only shelf-stable pouch with a 5-star whole bunch rating. And in this conversation, we cover why that is and everything you need to know about food processing. So let's get into it. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, it's so great to be here with you. I'm just so excited to dive in on all things Sophie's Organics and like the baby food industry.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is just blew my mind when I learned this because I thought that I knew a lot about, how I was researching brands and like baby food,
Yeah,
and what I learned
yeah.
from you totally changed me. So to start, I mean, tell us, about like Sophie's Organics and what led you to starting it.
Yeah, so never in a million years did I think that this would be my route. My nutrition training, I thought I would just continue to work with clients and teach them yoga and do like this holistic kind of like pathway. And then after having Sophie, my husband and I kind of at like 8 months, we felt a little burnt out, like, like just like baby mode, like, okay, like who's got, so he's like, why don't we just go to Hawaii? And I was like, great idea. And really, on the way to Hawaii is kind of where Sophie's Organics was born. I went to actually like a local Sprouts with my mom, and we bought like every shelf staple pouch. And my daughter refused every single one, and I just didn't understand. So then I myself tried them all. And what I found was I kind of agreed with Sophie. Like, why are these pouches so watery and they don't really taste like the things that they say they're going to taste like? And that was really when I started to like deep dive into how these pouches were being made. And like that's where I was like, oh my God, light bulb moment. Like, I think there's actually more harm in these retort pouches than there is benefits. And that's kind of why I like told my husband, I'm like, I think this is my mission. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And he's like, okay.
Was he terrified or was he like, let's do it?
Yeah. Yeah. So he's on board. He's helping me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Shout out to him. But
Okay, so let's back up for a second and just kind of define for the audience. There are three most common processing methods, right? There's high pressure processing, aseptic, and retort. Can you run us
yeah.
through those three and like differences?
We'll start with HVP. So that's the method of using water in a chamber. So basically, they put the food into a pouch. They'll use high pressure water, so it's a lot of water, and then you have to keep it in a refrigerator. The reason why I had a harder time with HVP processing was because as a busy mom, like on the go, I would either A, forget my pouches in the fridge, whoops, B, they're perishable. And that was a big no-no because a perishable item means like within 30, 45 minutes to an hour, like your pouch is no longer good for your child. Like it is growing bacteria as it is warming up. And that was my concern. So that's HEP processing. Then we have aseptic processing, which is what we are innovating with, which is a way of heating the food for a really fast timeline. We use anywhere from like 2.5 to 10 seconds of high fast heat just to kill off a little bit of that microbial that can cause the food to go bad. And then we cool it down and then we put it in. And then there's retort, which is you heat the food to 300 degrees, you put it into the plastic, and then you hold it for anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, depending on what it is. So, like a chicken or a meat pouch is sometimes being held for 20 to 30 minutes in these high plastic casings. And then your face, and then
I cannot believe that I didn't know this until recently.
yeah,
Anyway, yeah,
yeah.
continue. Sorry.
So, I mean, because this is the reason why. It's not because these companies want to harm our kids, right? It's because how do you get a plastic pouch to be cleared of any bacteria? You have to sterilize it,
Right.
okay? And that costs money, that costs time for these companies, and they don't want to do that. So the way that they can do it is they can put the food inside the plastic casings and heat it all up at the same time and kill off everything. But when you're killing off everything, you're killing off your nutritional value. And that's why the pouches on the shelf sometimes just taste like watery gum.
So there are actually like two big concerns then that I had when I learned about retort. And I want to talk about both of them with you. Like you mentioned the nutritional loss, and then there's
Yeah.
also like microwaving something in plastic, like all of the chemical leaching from the pouch itself. So with the nutritional loss, there was this study that the BBC just came out with. I'm going to cite everything that we talk about in the show notes,
Yeah.
but they studied what the nutritional label said on retort pouches and then like the actual finished product, and so there's all of this nutrition loss that is not labeled, right,
Yeah.
that isn't accounted
Hmm.
for. How is that even possible that they're labeling these products, and so are they testing the nutritional value prior to then this sterilization?
Yeah. So essentially what happens is like there's a conveyor belt, okay, in the retort process. They put like, let's just call it like apples, let's put some squash in it, let's put some zucchini. I don't know, it's coming to mind. They'll put that all into like a huge, just like imagine like a huge like pot, okay? So it's all heating up in there, it's all getting cooked up. And then that machine kind of like dumps over and it goes into another like canister. And then from there, it starts filling into the pouches. From that point, they have to keep it in a high heat, like up to 300 degrees, and it sits there until it reaches a certain velocity in the temperature that they can say, okay, it's cleared. Like we cleared off all the bacteria from the pouch and we killed off all of the bacteria within the food. That is their thought process. And to me, what hurt me the most as a parent is when I did talk to these guys, the bigger the company, like I talked to everyone. And they said, well, babies and little kids, they're developing their taste buds. And I'm like, uh-huh. Well, they don't need it to taste that good because they're slowly developing their taste buds. And I said, I don't think that's true. Because when I cook broccoli and I overcook it for Sophie, she will not eat it. It's like, I don't
Yeah,
understand that. I think her
yeah.
taste buds are actually better than mine. She's like really like learning everything about food at these times. I also think there's a lot of fear around getting sued. America is a sue happy country. And I think people are like, oh, well, if I kill everything off, then I can't get sued. But actually, you're not even giving us food.
And then when like the nutritional label that you see on the back, are they testing the food before it gets packaged or after it gets packaged?
Very few companies are going to test their food after it's produced because at that point, it is, if anything, more of a marketing play for them to be able to say, like, oh, this is what we did, right? Like with Sophie's, I wanted to firsthand see it. So we did create our pouches and then I put it up against a freshly made pouch, like an HPP process pouch, and then a retort. And I can like show you like a study of this. Like you could see the color difference. Like retort like almost looked brown. Ours was like neck and neck with fresh. And the way I like to explain it, like to like my mom or anyone, it's like if a banana goes bad, it starts to brown.
Yeah.
That's what retort is.
Yeah. Oh my God. So wild. And so,
Yeah.
when I first started Whole Bunch Club and was researching into like all of the, like the safety certifications, all of the things that I rate for at Whole Bunch Club, um, a lot of companies, the ones that I would consider to be like the elite companies, they test for heavy metals. That's not really going
Yep.
to change in the processing method, but they're not testing for like the nutritional value post processing, and they're not testing for like plasticizers. Very few test for plasticizers. So even if they're like, look at our lab results, it's kind of misleading, right? It's not exactly the final product that you're getting.
Yeah. I mean, that's why like there is a conversation like do you keep baby food in glass? But like then the sustainability of that is also something to be said. And then like there's also plastic lining within glass. Like
Yeah. There's no
so
perfect solution, right? But
no,
it seems
no.
like, and I actually have my pouches here. I wish that I had a little here they are. I wish I had a little ledge,
Oh,
but I'm not in my regular office these days. There's no perfect solution, but it seems like Sophie's is kind of the best thing that I've found. So
thank you.
how is aseptic different? You did mention this study that you did. I wanted you to kind of
Yeah.
dive into it a little bit more about like
Mhm.
how this processing method is superior and why this is a better product.
So the way I like to explain it to people is like a stir fry. Okay, like a stir fry, it's supposed to be cooked rapid, like high heat, like and you're done. Like it's like
Okay.
fast. And that is essentially like a Sophie's Organics pouch, right? Like, because all these companies, baby food company, big majority of them are already getting their purees that are already pureed. They're just putting them in to canisters and then they're putting it into pouches. It's like a two-step process. Like, I'm not going to name names, but like some of the biggest companies that you could probably think of, like even if they're cold pressed, like they're getting purees. With Sophie's, we're taking the purees and we're only cooking it for anywhere from like 10 to 20 seconds, like at most. And then we're cooling it down and then we're putting it in. So you're getting what you are reading. And that is why I think the Sophie's difference is there. Like whenever I go to like a demo at a grocery store, like I literally like yesterday, like this really sweet, like older lady, she was like, wait, this tastes, did you do make these at your house?
Yeah,
Like, I was like,
I've tried
no.
them. I've actually tried them and I've eaten them. It's like it literally just tastes like I pureed fruit myself or like a smoothie that I would make for
It
myself.
tastes as fresh,
Yeah, for
as
sure.
natural, as everything that you would expect it to be. And that's really what I'm trying to like have other parents understand is that like, look, guys, I understand you see a name and you think it's great, but there might be a better option. And like, hey, like I'm Danielle, and this is
Yeah.
Sophie's Organics, you know? Like,
Yeah. Okay. So when I learned about this, I was like, there's got to be some other companies that are doing this, and really, you're the only one that I found. If this is such a superior method, why aren't more people doing it? And what are some of the biggest, logistical, economic challenges that you've faced in building a better product?
it's expensive.
Yeah.
The margins. I mean, any company that is making a lot of money is happy making a lot of money because they have a lot of investors that are wanting them to keep growing and keep producing. And you can make a retort pouch for probably 30 cents,
Hmm. Yeah.
40 cents. You know, like the cheaper your food, I would say run. Like across the board. Like if it's ketchup, mustard, I don't care what it is. Like if your food is 30 cents, like and that's without discounts or anything, it's concerning, especially in a baby product. Like that means if you look at, no offense, something that ends with the word squeeze, if you look, it's literally apple concentrate, strawberry concentrate. Like, why are we feeding our kids concentrate that is then heated to 300 degrees and then put into plastic? Like, what are you feeding your kid? I kind of understand why a lot of parents are going to like a pouches in the refrigerator because okay, yeah, it makes more sense. It seems fresher. But the moment you leave your house and you start driving down the street, your product's going. It's a ticking time bomb. Like it's perishable. And I don't think people read that enough. Like it should be like in highlighter on your pouch, like perishable. Like
We're talking about babies now, so I wanted to ask you if like I can give it to my toddler because right now I make homemade smoothies. So basically, what I do is I make a smoothie and then I freeze it and then I put the frozen smoothie in his lunchbox so that it thaws
yep.
over like the course of the day. Should I not be doing that? How much time do I have once I put it in his lunchbox? And can I give him this instead? Is this good for toddlers?
I didn't design it just for babies. I really designed it for like everyone. I have 12 and 13-year-old kids like eating Sophie's Organics. Yesterday at this demo, there was a guy who was like a mountain biker and then he goes hiking. I was like, wow, that sounds really interesting. I'm like over here selling pouches and you're like hiking up Everest. But he was like, I'm gonna take this with me. Like this tastes great and like it's pure nutrition. And he was like in his 40s. So I think our product is like a universal fit, it's just a healthy, really healthy for you, functional snack. Whether it's for your baby, your toddler, your mom, your grandparent, like
Okay.
an
So
active
I'll
guy.
start putting these in his lunchbox instead because now you're
I
freaking
mean,
me out
sure.
about
I
the
mean,
perishability.
listen,
I'm like, oh my
yeah,
god.
if he's in love with a certain thing that you're making, that like, kids are picky eaters.
No, I'm sure he'll eat these. I've just been saving them for the baby.
That's so sweet.
And anyway, yeah, I figured like freezing it and then letting it thaw, but now I'm kind of nervous.
So the only concern I have with that, because that's what I would do, right, is that now you have water everywhere because it's condensing, right? But also like there's no set time. And like that's what we have to understand. So like especially if it's like a milk pouch, like a dairy
Yeah,
smoothie of some sort in a pouch, like I would time it like you had a gallon of milk on your counter. Like how long do you want your
yeah,
milk sitting out? Like all
yeah.
day? Like
Yeah,
you'd open it up and it would start to smell weird. And I
yeah,
think that's what we really need to think about is like, what are we really feeding our children, and does it taste good? This is my thing. If it doesn't taste good to you, it doesn't taste good to your child.
yeah, for sure.
Just leave it at
Oh,
that.
for sure. I totally agree with that. I and it's not so. I mean, I get it. We're all busy. I'm busy too. Working mom. I get it. But I make baby food. It's like not that hard. Like this is my on the go, and other than that, I'm giving her food I prepare at home.
100%. And that's, I think, the way it should be. Like, I created this product for the mom who's like, hey, I'm about to travel on this trip. Hey, my kid is going to preschool. Hey, like, my daughter didn't eat breakfast this morning and I'm running into the car. What do I give her? Like, oh, there's the Sophie's pouch. Like, that's, where I think we live for the consumer. I don't want people to miss out on like making their kids breakfast in the morning if they have that availability too, like
Yeah.
everyone's lifestyles are different, but at the end of the day, like give your kid what you're eating. They'll love it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think that's kind of the model we've always followed. And knock on wood, I don't have picky eaters yet.
Yeah, that's
They,
important.
they develop their taste buds that way.
Yeah.
It's also easier. I'm not making multiple meals. You are a dietitian, so let's actually move on and talk a little bit about like what's actually in these two flavors that you have, and
Yeah.
how did you choose your ingredients list?
When Sophie was like starting to eat, it was around the same time that I was like off postpartum and kind of like really thinking about how do I nourish my body again. And I really believe in like the power of like antioxidants and like organic barley grass juice powder, which is like just an incredible superfood for your body. And that was something that I noticed. Like none of these pouches had like that functionality that I was looking for that actually tasted good. And it was kind of organically happening in my kitchen. Sophie's Organics was born out of really what I was making her. I have these two SKUs right now, and I have a third one and fourth and fifth one in development right now as well. And they're all recipes that Sophie genuinely loves. So there's the organic barley grass juice powder for the functionality on the berry cool pouch. And then the mango to tango,
Yeah.
that has
Gosh, okay.
squash and mango.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it
Wait.
has,
Yeah. What I love about these. Not to interrupt you, but there's literally one, two, three, four ingredients. It's like that's it, and that's what I
yeah.
love to see.
Yeah, that's what you want. That's what we always like learned in nutrition. If you can't pronounce it, how is your body metabolizing it? Like that was like what my teacher would always say. And that's like what I always think about too. The reason why I put choline in it is because children, as they are developing, don't receive enough choline. Not every kid eats eggs. I know Sophie does not like eggs. So I was like, okay, so how do we get her choline? And that's one of the most important nutrients for kids in development with their brain and with their body. And also as a mom, it's one of the most important nutrients for me to be consuming because it's great for like breastfeeding and also to just get the nutrients back into my body. Again, these are all like homemade recipes like within our home that we loved. I had my friends come over, their kids tried it, they loved, and that's kind of how we grew the company
Yeah.
to selecting the flavors that we have.
And so then just another reason why they're also good for all ages.
Yeah.
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 So there you
I
go.
eat them all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so my only complaint with Sophie's Organics is that you guys only have two flavors. So
I know. I'm coming
any
out with a broccoli
okay.
one in a couple weeks.
It's
Thank
my
God,
only
finally.
complaint.
On the next round of SKUs, you're going to see that the packaging is going to change across the board, and it's all going to have clean label purity awarded because that was
Oh,
something. Yeah, I'm
congratulations.
so excited about that.
That's a
That
big
was really
deal.
important to me. Like as a consumer, like as a mom, like when I would shop like the grocery aisle, like that was something I looked for. And there's
Wow.
definitely some clean label, but not all of them are purity awarded. And I looked into what the difference was with the purity award versus just the regular clean label. And it's not much, but it's enough. It's enough, and like that was really important to me. So it took me a long time actually to come up with the third one because I had to get the right numbers. Like, like it's nutrition, but it's also math. And like if the math isn't mathing, like you're not you're not in the purity awarded arena. I decided I'm going to bring in a broccoli SKU because as Sophie was getting older, it was harder and harder for me to get her green vegetables. And that's kind of where I was like, you know what? Like we need a green veggie in here. And so
Pre-ordered it twice.
yes, I thank you again for
I'm
that.
so excited for the green one.
Yeah, and then I will just between like you and I and community, but we have a kale one coming out, and then I have a plant-based protein one coming out. So,
Ooh, you heard it here first.
yeah.
Okay, I'm excited. Okay, well that's really exciting to hear, and congratulations on the Purity Award.
It takes so much time and it
Yeah.
takes a lot of money. And like, I think that's going back to like, why aren't people doing this? It's because it's really expensive, aren't? And for me, I was like, no, like, I would rather come home at the end of the day with less money and actually give our kids more nutrition and actually something that's better for them than like make the money. And that's
Um,
kind of my MO here, you know?
I wish there were more people like you, but I'm glad that you're here and I'm glad
Yeah.
that you're doing it.
Thanks.
Um, we covered like what we should be looking for when shopping for food in general, and I love your kind of simple mantra of just like if you can't pronounce it, your body can't digest it. I love that. And then the certifications, those are like two things that we should really be on the lookout for. What
Yeah.
are things that like red flags that we should actually avoid?
For me, natural flavors. It's very, very, very misleading. Um, Natural flavors are actually like an MSG. So if you think about like
So they're putting that in like in what sense? I mean, natural. I guess because it's some sort of like
natural peach flavor, natural banana flavor, natural strawberry flavor,
so
like
does natural mean that it tastes like a natural peach? It's not a natural flavor. Is that what that means, or what?
it's very convoluted. It's literally a natural flavor. That's what they're allowed to call it. And then it's peach. So, like, it essentially is supposed to taste like peach, but it's added in to the product because the product probably after the processing wouldn't taste like anything. So
Yeah.
they add these natural flavors because it's a preservative. It enhances the consumer's taste of the product and it's a derivative. It like it, you know, it helps to keep the product in a bind. Let's just call it that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a no-no. Like if I see natural flavors, it's out of my cart.
So like that's like across the board. Everyone should just try to avoid that wherever they can. And then in these shelf stable pouches, not just Sophie's, but kind of all of them, I see. Well, you guys use lemon juice concentrate,
Yeah.
and then others I've seen like citric acid. But there's some sort of like citrusy component in all of them. What is that for? And
Yeah.
what makes one better than the other?
So every single pouch, even a high pressure pouch that lives in the grocery store in a refrigerator will have lemon juice.
Uh huh.
The reason why is because of acidity. So like on a pH scale, you know, it's like 0, then it goes up to like 8.8, I believe, sometimes even higher for food. And when you have a product that has to sit in a shelf, you have to have a component of a little bit of acid because a it has to be balanced in its pH, just like anything, just like us as humans. We're always fighting for our pH level to be balanced. And that is what lemon does. It's not something to be concerned about. Citric acid is essentially a lemon juice that is put into concentrate form that is then put into like a powdered form. I try to avoid citric acid. Organic lemon juice, I used a concentrated form because I didn't want it to just overly taste like lemons. Like, you know, I could just put lemon juice in it, but then I was afraid that it would just taste like lemons.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So, aside from Sophie's Organics, and I always love to ask all moms, what are some
Yeah.
other baby, kid, family products that you also swear by that have made your life easier that we should know about?
Trying to think, what are things I really liked? I really like these Life Factory like glass. They're just like glass bottles, but they have this like really beautiful, like almost like silicone shield around it so it won't break. I think another really great product that we like in our home are like the healthy baby diapers. They were like the first company to be like EWG certified, and I just kind of felt more called to doing that. I did find that there is this like company, and I want to look into them more. They degrade like it's mushrooms or something in the diaper, and I'm just so interested to like learn more.
They're like biodegradable because I did a deep dive into diapers, and even the ones that say they're biodegradable, they're like not really.
So there's like a mushroom eating something in this diaper. Like I don't understand. Once it gets
Okay.
wet, the mushroom starts to get activated and it starts to degrade it.
Wow, that's so interesting. Okay, yeah, send it to me. It's like a
Yeah,
compost.
I
That's so
have to look this
interesting.
up.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
send it to me. But yeah, I love asking that question because I've discovered so many cool things from that. Okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you so much. This has been so enlightening. I'm so glad I got you on because every girlfriend that I've spoken to and have shared this information, they're all like blown away, and it's totally changed the way that I feed my whole family.
Aw,
So thank you
thank you.
for what you're doing, and big fan, the Whole Bunch Club fan. You guys can get 15% off these unbelievable pouches with code Whole Bunch Club. Thank you, Danielle.
Of course.
I am so excited for your new flavors. I wish you all of the best, and I hope that we
Thank
all
you.
support this company because it's just you're doing really important work. So, I
Aw, thank you.
from
I appreciate that. It's really sweet.